A journey into the haunted halls of America's prisons. Welcome, dear viewers, to another spine-tingling episode of Whispers in the Dark, your go-to channel for the most haunting stories that history has to offer. Tonight, we embark on a chilling exploration through the echoing hallways and shadowy corners of America's most haunted prisons. These are not just relics of a bygone era, they are storied bastions of spectral activity, where the past lingers palpably in every creak of the floorboards and flicker of the lights. Haunted prisons hold a unique place in the collective imagination. Once designed as fortresses of justice and punishment, they became infamous for their dark histories of violence, despair, and unspeakable suffering. Today, these crumbling institutions stand as eerie monuments to humanity's failures, their decaying walls whispering secrets of pain and injustice. Yet, it is this very darkness that draws us in, compelling us to peer into their shadows and confront the unknown. The allure of these prisons stretches far beyond mere tales of ghostly apparitions. They serve as gateways to the depths of human emotion, fear, sorrow, and resilience, each corridor a testament to lives lived and lost within their confines. From sprawling Victorian-era penitentiaries to mid-century correctional facilities, these structures embody the evolution of penal systems in America, from their noble intentions to their tragic missteps. As we delve deeper into this macabre journey, prepare yourself to walk alongside the spirits of those who have long passed, yet continue to linger in these formidable structures. The tales we are about to unfold are not for the faint-hearted. They challenge our understanding of reality and beckon us to look beyond the veil that separates the living from the dead. So, dim the lights, draw the curtains, and let the haunting begin. Are you ready to uncover the secrets that lie within the haunted prisons of America? Let's step into the shadows together. The history of penal systems in America. To truly grasp the spectral allure of America's haunted prisons, one must first journey back to their origins. These institutions were born out of a radical shift in societal attitudes toward crime and punishment during the 18th and 19th centuries, a period marked by both optimism and naivety. At the time, crime was poorly understood, often attributed to moral failings or supernatural forces. However, the rise of reformist philosophies offered a glimmer of hope, advocating for humane rehabilitation rather than brutal retribution. This movement led to the establishment of penitentiaries across the United States, designed as utopian retreats where inmates could reflect, repent, and ultimately reintegrate into society. These early prisons, such as Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia and Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary in San Francisco, were architectural marvels of their time. Built with towering stone walls, intricate cell designs, and imposing guard towers, they reflected the idealistic vision of their creators. Spaces where order and discipline would replace chaos and cruelty. Inmates were subjected to solitary confinement and silence, intended to encourage introspection and spiritual renewal. For a brief moment, it seemed that society had found a solution to the centuries-old problem of criminality. However, this optimism was short-lived. As the demand for incarceration grew, so too did the pressure on these institutions. Overcrowding became rampant, straining resources and eroding the quality of care, or lack thereof. What began as sanctuaries of reflection soon devolved into overcrowded warehouses of despair. By the mid-20th century, many prisons had abandoned the principles of reform altogether, resorting to inhumane practices such as physical abuse, psychological manipulation, and prolonged isolation. The once pristine halls now echoed with screams of anguish rather than whispers of redemption. This decline was exacerbated by systemic neglect and corruption. Funding shortages forced many facilities to operate with minimal staff, leading to widespread abuse and neglect. Reports of inmate mistreatment, ranging from beatings and torture to experimental treatments without consent, began to surface, sparking public outrage and calls for reform. By the late 20th century, the prison reform movement gained momentum, advocating for transparency, accountability, and humane treatment over institutional brutality. One by one, these prisons closed their doors, leaving behind empty shells haunted not only by memories but also by the unresolved trauma of those who suffered within them. Today, these abandoned prisons stand as stark reminders of a darker chapter in American history. Their walls bear witness to countless stories of hope, heartbreak, and horror. Each cell tells a tale of a life interrupted, each corridor a pathway to forgotten suffering. It is this potent blend of historical significance and spectral lore that makes these sites so captivating. Visitors drawn to explore their decaying interiors often find themselves confronted not only by the physical remnants of the past but also by the lingering presence of those who refuse to be forgotten. As we peel back the layers of their histories, we uncover not only the events that shaped their legacies but also the emotional imprints left behind by those who once called them home, or prison. These abandoned prisons are more than mere buildings. They are repositories of memory and mystery, inviting us to confront the uncomfortable truths of our shared past. And as we move forward in our exploration, remember that the true essence of these haunted places lies not just in their architecture or amenities but in the echoes of lives lived and lost within their confines. Stories that, like the ghosts said to haunt their halls, refuse to be forgotten. The darkest haunted prisons. Now that we've laid the groundwork by exploring the historical context of America's haunted prisons, let us step directly into the heart of darkness, into the very cells and corridors where the supernatural reigns supreme. Below, we will delve into the harrowing histories of three of the darkest haunted prisons in the United States. These establishments, though outwardly imposing in their heyday, harbor secrets that chill the blood and leave visitors questioning the boundaries between the living and the dead. Prepare yourselves, as we recount the spectral legends and documented encounters that make these locations veritable hotspots of paranormal activity. Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Perched in the heart of Philadelphia, Eastern State Penitentiary stands as one of the most iconic and haunted prisons in the world. Opened in 1829, it was originally designed to rehabilitate inmates through solitary confinement and reflection. However, by the mid-20th century, its population had swelled to over 1,700, creating conditions of severe overcrowding and neglect. The prison's dark legacy is matched only by its reputation as one of the most haunted places in the country. Reports of paranormal activity here span decades, with countless visitors claiming to encounter everything from shadowy figures to full-bodied apparitions. Among the most frequently reported phenomena is the presence of a former warden, believed to still patrol the halls of his former domain. Witnesses describe hearing the sound of jangling keys or seeing a man in a suit standing motionless before vanishing without explanation. Equally unsettling are the accounts of violent poltergeist activity in certain wings of the prison. Paranormal investigators have documented objects moving on their own, disembodied voices screaming in rage, and sudden drops in temperature. One particularly chilling incident involved a group of tourists who claimed to see blood-red handprints appearing on the walls of a former execution chamber, a space notorious for its use in carrying out capital punishment. Such reports have earned the prison a reputation as one of the most active paranormal sites in the nation, drawing thrill-seekers and skeptics alike. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, San Francisco, California, often referred to as the Rock. Alcatraz looms large in the annals of American penal history and horror folklore. Built in 1934, the sprawling fortress was designed to house the nation's most dangerous criminals, including infamous figures like Al Capone and Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz. Despite its imposing beauty, the prison quickly became synonymous with despair and brutality, housing thousands of inmates subjected to harsh conditions and psychological torment. The sheer scale of suffering endured within its walls has fueled countless ghost stories. Visitors report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread upon entering, accompanied by sudden drops in temperature and inexplicable feelings of being watched. Shadow people are commonly sighted darting through the corridors, while disembodied cries echo through the cavernous chambers below. Perhaps the most disturbing figure associated with Alcatraz is that of a former inmate, seen wandering the premises with a haunted expression. Legend has it that he died tragically after attempting to escape, and his restless spirit continues to search for freedom among the ruins. Though much of the original structure remains standing, portions of the building reportedly remain highly active. Urban explorers brave enough to venture inside often return with chilling tales of unexplained phenomena, including EVP recordings capturing desperate pleas for help and photographs showing orbs hovering near the site's infamous solitary confinement cells. Ohio State Reformatory, Mansfield, Ohio. While technically a reformatory rather than a maximum security prison, Ohio State Reformatory shares many of the same haunting qualities as its counterparts. Opened in 1896, it served as a facility for young male offenders during an era when the penal system was rife with corruption and abuse. With no effective oversight or accountability, guards and administrators resorted to brutal tactics, including beatings, starvation, and prolonged confinement in solitary cells, which often resulted in excruciating pain and death. The mortality rate at Ohio State Reformatory was staggering, with estimates suggesting hundreds of inmates succumbed to violence, illness, or suicide within its walls. To avoid scrutiny, bodies were discreetly removed via a secret tunnel known as the Death Row Corridor. Today, this tunnel remains one of the most paranormally active areas of the site, with visitors reporting cold spots, phantom footsteps, and the sensation of being touched by unseen hands. Above ground, the main building is equally infamous for its spectral inhabitants. Staff members conducting tours often recount seeing shadowy figures peering out of windows or standing motionless in doorways before vanishing without explanation. One recurring apparition is that of a young boy named Joseph, said to have died after falling from one of the prison's staircases. Witnesses describe him playing with a ball or hiding behind furniture, seemingly oblivious to the passage of time. Others claim to hear moans and cries emanating from empty cells, a grim reminder of the suffering endured by those who once called Ohio State Reformatory home. Despite, or perhaps because of, its dark history, Ohio State Reformatory has become a popular destination for paranormal enthusiasts. Its annual haunted attractions draw thousands of visitors each year, ensuring that its legacy as a place of terror endures long after its closure in 1990. The psychology of fear and its role in haunting legends in the realm of abandoned prisons. The line between psychological perception and actual paranormal activity often blurs, creating a fascinating interplay that fuels the enduring allure of these spectral sites. To understand why tales of hauntings persist and why they evoke such profound emotional responses, we must delve into the psychology of fear, a primal human emotion that has evolved over millennia to protect us from danger. Fear is a complex emotional response triggered by the perception of threat, whether real or imagined. In the context of abandoned prisons, this emotion is amplified by the environment itself. The dimly lit corridors, the cold stone walls, and the echoing chambers naturally create an atmosphere conducive to heightened alertness and apprehension. This setting primes the visitor's mind to perceive ordinary stimuli as extraordinary threats. For instance, the creak of old wood settling or the rustle of leaves outside might be misinterpreted as footsteps or whispers of the undead. Such misattributions are not merely errors of perception but are deeply rooted in our evolutionary history, where detecting potential threats quickly could mean the difference between life and death. Moreover, the human brain is wired to recognize patterns, even when none exist, a phenomenon known as apophenia. In abandoned prisons, this tendency can lead to the perception of ghostly presences. Shadows cast by flickering candlelight or the play of light through broken windows can easily be mistaken for apparitions. When combined with the suggestive power of historical narratives and local legends, these visual cues reinforce belief in the supernatural, embedding the idea of hauntings firmly in the collective psyche. Cultural influences also play a significant role in shaping our perceptions of haunted places. From childhood, many of us are exposed to stories of ghosts and goblins, which lay the groundwork for how we interpret ambiguous stimuli in potentially haunted environments. Literature, film, and folklore perpetuate these ideas, providing a framework through which we view and interpret our experiences. Thus, when visiting a place like Eastern State Penitentiary or Ohio State Reformatory, visitors arrive not as blank slates but as individuals primed by cultural narratives to expect, and perhaps even desire, the experience of encountering the supernatural. Additionally, the social dynamics of visiting haunted sites contribute to the perpetuation of haunting legends. Group visits to these locations often involve shared experiences of fear and excitement, which can enhance individual perceptions of paranormal activity. The reinforcement provided by peers who also report unusual sensations or sightings solidifies these experiences as real in the minds of those involved. This communal aspect of experiencing the supernatural not only validates personal encounters but also ensures that the stories continue to be told and retold, keeping the legends alive. Finally, the cathartic nature of fear cannot be overlooked. Engaging with fear-inducing environments like abandoned prisons allows individuals to confront their anxieties in a controlled setting, providing a sense of mastery over their fears. This psychological release can be exhilarating, turning fear into a form of entertainment. It explains why people are drawn repeatedly to these sites, not just to seek proof of the supernatural, but to experience the thrill of the unknown and the rush of adrenaline that comes with it. In essence, the persistence of haunting legends tied to America's abandoned prisons is a testament to the powerful interplay between environment, psychology, and culture. These elements combine to create a potent cocktail of fear and fascination, ensuring that the stories of spectral encounters remain vibrant and compelling, drawing new generations into their eerie embrace. As we continue to explore these haunted halls, we carry forward not just the tales of those who came before, but the timeless human capacity to find wonder and terror in the shadows of our past. Investigative techniques and paranormal evidence. As we delve deeper into the enigmatic world of abandoned prisons, the quest for tangible evidence of the supernatural becomes paramount. Across the United States, numerous investigations have been conducted, employing a variety of sophisticated techniques to capture undeniable proof of paranormal activity. These efforts not only aim to validate the spectral legends associated with these historic institutions but also to shed light on the mysteries that shroud them. Another technique gaining traction among paranormal enthusiasts is thermal imaging. This technology allows investigators to detect heat signatures that may indicate the presence of entities not visible to the naked eye. During a notable investigation at Alcatraz, thermal cameras captured several anomalous heat spots moving independently within the ruins. These findings were particularly intriguing as they occurred in areas previously identified as hotspots of activity by eyewitness accounts. Photographic evidence also plays a crucial role in documenting supposed paranormal occurrences. Over the years, countless photographs taken at Ohio State Reformatory have purportedly captured orbs, ectoplasmic mist, and even full-bodied apparitions. One famous image shows a translucent figure standing near the estate's ancient well, a location often cited by locals as a site of intense paranormal activity. While skeptics argue that many such images can be attributed to environmental factors or photographic anomalies, the consistency and detail in some shots provide persuasive arguments for believers. Beyond technological tools, traditional investigative methods such as historical research and witness interviews remain invaluable. By meticulously combing through archives and speaking directly with individuals who have experienced unexplainable phenomena, investigators build comprehensive profiles of each haunted site. This approach not only enriches the narrative surrounding the prisons but also helps identify patterns or triggers that might explain the reported hauntings. The culmination of these varied investigative efforts paints a complex picture of the supernatural landscape within these historic East Coast prisons. Each piece of evidence, whether captured through advanced technology or gleaned from personal testimonies, adds depth and credibility to the stories of spectral inhabitants. As more data accumulates, the line between myth and reality continues to blur, inviting further exploration and inquiry. Ultimately, the pursuit of paranormal evidence is not just about proving the existence of ghosts. It's about understanding the profound impact these tales have on human consciousness and culture. The ongoing investigations at these haunted sites underscore a universal curiosity about what lies beyond our perceptual limits and highlight our enduring fascination with the unknown. As we gather more insights and refine our methodologies, the abandoned prisons of America stand as enduring enigmas, challenging us to look deeper into the shadows of our past. Cultural significance and enduring mystique of haunted prisons across America are far more than mere relics of a bygone era. They are living embodiments of regional identity, reflecting the collective memory and cultural values of the communities that surround them. These storied establishments, with their rich histories and spectral legends, serve as bridges between the present and the past, offering a tangible connection to the people, events, and beliefs that have shaped the regions they inhabit. Their enduring presence in local folklore underscores their importance as repositories of cultural significance, preserving the intangible threads of history that bind generations together. For many towns and cities, haunted prisons are integral to their sense of place and heritage. Take, for example, Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, a landmark forever intertwined with the city's complex history of criminal justice reform. Beyond its architectural grandeur, the prison acts as a somber reminder of the ambitious dreams and systemic failures that defined its operation. Its spectral legends, such as the recurring apparition of the warden, resonate deeply with locals and visitors alike. These stories not only preserve the memory of individuals who shaped the prison's legacy but also invite reflection on themes of duty, resilience, and the passage of time. Local festivals, guided tours, and educational programs centered around the prison keep its history alive, fostering dialogue about the intersection of ambition and mortality. Similarly, the presence of haunted prisons contributes significantly to local tourism and economies. Sites like Alcatraz in San Francisco and Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield attract thousands of visitors annually, drawn by their eerie reputations and architectural grandeur. Tourists flock to these locations not only to witness their haunting beauty but also to participate in guided ghost tours, paranormal investigations, and seasonal events that celebrate their spectral legacies. These activities inject vital revenue into local businesses, from hotels and restaurants to souvenir shops and transportation services. Moreover, the global fascination with the paranormal has turned these prisons into international attractions, elevating the profile of entire regions and encouraging investment in preservation efforts. Beyond economics, haunted prisons play a pivotal role in shaping regional identities. They embody the unique character of their locales, blending historical fact with myth and imagination to create narratives that resonate deeply with residents. In the South, for instance, the antebellum elegance of plantation-style haunted hotels reflects the complexities of Southern history, while in the Northeast, the rugged independence of frontier-era lodgings mirrors the resilience of settlers. These stories, passed down through generations, foster a shared sense of belonging and pride, reminding locals of their roots and reinforcing community bonds. Yet, the cultural significance of haunted prisons extends beyond geography and economics. It taps into the universal human fascination with mortality and the unknown. These sites challenge us to confront existential questions. What happens after death? Can the past truly be laid to rest? By exploring these themes, haunted prisons become spaces of introspection, where visitors can grapple with their own fears and curiosities. This emotional engagement is what keeps the mystique of these places alive, ensuring that their stories continue to captivate audiences long after the events themselves have faded into history.